Greetings, adventurers! I hope y'all are doing well this week. It is I, Derpherp, as usual. Who else would it be? Bringing y'all something that isn't dragon-made, surprisingly. This past couple of weeks, I've actually been working on some decks for the friend that I think I've mentioned to y'all before, who runs a club for some high schoolers and such. And we're trying to get them into Yu-Gi-Oh! So I built them some decks. He's given me decks that he, like, specific just archetypes he wants to be built. And, well, this is one of them we got here, is Virtual World. I will preface this first by saying, I'm not experienced with Virtual World. I've played against it a lot, but I don't really know the deck. I just know what, like, to make a basic deck for it that someone could learn to play. It's also incredibly cheap at, like, 30 bucks for the full thing we have here. Like, 27 bucks, I think, what it shows up online. So, yeah, without further ado, let's get into this thing. It is a pretty simple deck. There's nothing crazy. You're not doing any super wacky things on it. But let's start off with, we got 3 Lulu, 3 Gigi, 3 Lily, 3 Lau Lau, double Nyan Nyan, and a single Tutu. That one I always just for some reason feel like I'm saying it wrong. I don't know why I do, but I feel like I am every time. Yeah, I mean, it's just a pretty basic lineup here. I don't think there's really much to say about it. I'm not an expert enough on this deck to really lay it out there for y'all, but we're learning the deck. We're learning the deck, and also letting them play with it. And we're also running, you know, triple Qinglong. Then we also got our triple Kowloon, triple Chuche, and a single copy of Zhuanwu. That one I have no idea if I'm saying it right. I'm assuming this is like Chinese-like names or something. That's honestly what I'm getting from it, but I could be just completely full of shit. Like usual. But, so yeah, this is like the Virtual World package we have here, the main core and everything. It functions well enough, I think, especially to, you know, teach someone to play the game a little more combo-y. I've always learned that just playing the deck's the best way to do it anyway, so I built them the simplest of the deck as I could. And we did add a little bit of spice in it because my friend requested it, specifically this, because he likes zombies. Bet you could never guess what it is. Just got Ballard's Rock, Banshee, and Zombie World. Yeah, it's fine. I mean, that's all I really say, but it's fine, it's good. It does its thing, for sure. I mean, it gives us a negate, and a banish. Shuts down quite a few decks, doesn't really do anything to us here. Since we don't really care about the fact that they are zombies. So, yeah, it's fine, honestly. I'm happy with it. I thought it was dumb, but not playing with it, it actually makes complete sense. And her being a 4 actually does help us out a little bit, since we can go into things very specifically because of that. Or at least go into things in another way. We do have you know, it's a little bit more here with our Speedroid, Tatomberg, and Terratop, you know. Terratop, we can special summon, bring out Search him, and then special summon, go into like a, you know, rank 3 play. I mean, nothing crazy, just a, another option that we can go down. Something that is obvious that we're gonna have in here, triple E-Telly, of course. There's psychics in there, you know, some worms, but psychics in there. Why wouldn't we be doing it? Double Pot of Desires. Pot of Greed, you know? I mean, that's all there's to say about that. Pot of Greed, come on. In a deck where we can actually run that and not get too horribly punished by it. And then since we also are running, you know, triple E-Telly, we are running triple Ghost Ogre. Self-Explainer, the only hand trap we're really running, and then outside of, you know, like, Called By here, just a single copy. You know, should be banned, whatever. I know some people don't think so. I certainly do. And let's see here. Final thing. Little spice. It's nothing special at all. Just a pank. It's not really all that crazy at all, but For the price range you wanted me to build it and everything like that, I felt Pank was pretty good, and he has, like, plenty of them, so... Yeah, a lot of the options here may not be the most optimal, but, within the realm of what we were, you want to, spend on these decks, which is preferably not too much to get them off the ground, because the people that are going to be playing this are high schoolers who don't play the game and just kind of want to learn it. And, yeah, so it was kind of just a good starting point, but with, you know, specific archetypes that are actually playable and not just saying, hey, I'm going to throw and want to lose right off the bat. But anyway, that was the main deck. Let me get y'all into our extra deck here, where we are for our virtual world, names. We got Fan, Shen, and Gigi, or Juju. I don't know how you would say that one, honestly. But, yeah, no, here we're going. Honestly, I feel like pretty standard. Apologies if you hear my ferrets going off in the back there. But yeah, I feel like this is pretty standard. Maybe not as much so here, but definitely expected. You could go without, I guess. Not something ever really I'd see played, but obviously going to be in there. And then these two, whatever. Not as frequently going into them, for me at least, how I'm playing this. Then we are rocking... you know, we'll get into that here in a minute. Our mechs, just because I kind of wanted to run them in here, and they're 9s, so they're very playable here, of course. And he had them, so figured just I'd use things that were in his binder that he wasn't ever going to use and anything else, so we got them. They do do things pretty, they do their job well enough. Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss, we actually can play it. It's fine. Though, I did have to, you know, finagle it a little bit to make that happen. It's only playable in, like, one instance, but it's fun. So, I run it in my Dragon Maids, as y'all have seen. So, of course, I'm going to try and squeeze things in like that. Arceus, Croco Dragon, we're going to say. Obviously, it's going to be in here. I mean, it's virtual world. It's something pretty standard to see played. Now, actually, you know, I'll show that up here in a minute. And then we got Final Sigma, as our towers for this. You know, just big, beefy, does a lot of damage. And like I said, it's a towers. And at this power level of what they're doing, I think it's a justifiable boss monster that can definitely be dealt with, but isn't, like, too obscene. But it's not also, like, a super weak thing either, where it's just like, oh, it's just kind of cool to play. It is a, you know, closes out game. So I thought it was a very fun addition to the deck. Now, how I said, oh, you know what, actually, we'll put that back there, too. Now, here is some sauce. Some things I've actually seen quite a bit in some other lists that are, virtual world. So I found it fitting enough. Unfortunately, he doesn't have that many level 7 or 8 dragons that I'm aware of. At least not the ones that I'm super familiar with. But until... This is pretty much just a placeholder for really whatever level 7 or 8 dragon you want to put into the deck. It could be like Starlight or whatever. I have one of those, but I'm not throwing it in the deck there for him. Because I played in something. I just had a Black Rose Dragon in here. Just for placeholder. I mean, you can play it here. You can play really whatever you want there. But... it's not... There's much better options, but just a placeholder, really. Now here is how the only way we really go into our Abyss. And, it's a little clunky-ish sometimes, we go into it, but also gives us some options to go into a Alaka play. Now, to do so, it's a little bit, convoluted and way too much. But I just kind of wanted to put it in there because I figured, it'd be fun to watch them do so. That and also, like, if you replace this with, say, like, a dark dragon rather than, you know, fire, put any kind of, like, dark, you know, level 7 or 8 or whatnot there, or really just anything in that spot. A lot of this can just be flex spots, you know, if you wanted to, you know, stretch the budget more and use a wider range of cards. There you go. But yeah, I mean, this kind of little thing here. Only reason we were doing this because we can fuse off with him. doing that, replacing Alistair, and then, you know, whatever other dark we have access to or whatnot. So that's that there. And then for our, the rest of our XYZs, I completely forgot about Long Long. Yeah. It's a virtual world name. We're playing virtual world here, so I kind of just wanted to have it there. And, it's honestly not too bad, honestly. I do like it. Its effects, well, pretty solid, especially at such a low power level, like I said here. We're playing a sub $30 deck here. I'd say it's honestly, if it's right at home here. Beatrice, just a very, being able to send something from deck to grave's really nice. So, especially in this, I mean, pretty big. And then M7, I hate trying to pronounce it. Tomley. Anyway, M7 here, and Beatrice. You know, I feel like there's not really a whole lot to say here. I mean, it is a pretty basic, and I mean basic, virtual world list. First crack at a virtual world deck as well. Not really my, expertise by any means, as y'all know. But I feel pretty happy with it. They can definitely play it and do something with it here. I do have some other decks that I was working on, like Tri-Brigade as well, that I did actually take to locals for some people, and people up there wanted to play them, and they actually did pretty well that night. So they weren't like, you know, they were very budget list, but they were still doing well with them, you know, sub 50. So I'm happy with it. But anyway, this is our $30 virtual world deck. I mean, 30 bucks, hard to complain, you know, with what you get. So anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed this and all. Apologies if I didn't explain much of it. There's, you know, plenty of guides out there to, like, you know, play virtual world and everything, and I'm not an expert on it, so I'm not going to try and spend way longer than needed to explain what the cards do. But anyway, hope y'all enjoyed this, and if you did, maybe like, comment, and subscribe. And I will actually have the deck list for this, just to, you know, gauge the price and everything like that, in the description below. So so I won't have like a long comment string and all like that for it. It'll just be the link to like YuGiOh Pro deck there. But anyway, I will see y'all in the next one, adventurers. Farewell!
10, 9, 7, 5, 3, sound 1, start.